Get rewind. So,
So, what's up?
oh my god, I'm so sorry. You find yourselves.
Like,
what's that?
do you need me to DM tonight?
No, I'm good. It's when I break other people that it gets me, you know. Normally you guys are pretty solid, so it doesn't affect you, and I continue on like nothing happened, but you are somewhere in this world. You are just outside the Earth Genasi plateau where you had spent some time with them previously. You are in the mine that they had been using, where you discovered a small fragment of very valuable ore left behind, and a number of other rich veins of other common and useful ores. Rowan, you had spent some time to search for the same ore that Brielle found a piece of, and you discovered a vein of it exists below you somewhere, a couple 100 feet below, deep within the solid rock of this plateau mountainside. I know there were some thoughts on what you might do with all this information, so have at her.
I think the plan was to ask the Genasi about it?
Yes.
What time of day is it, Shanks?
You would be getting into evening at this point. You've been following the Duergar for quite some time.
If we actually, how far from Kine are we in miles, and is it more than 50?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Let me pull up my map, so you're going to need to give me a second. But
given typical travel pace, I'd think it'd be less than 50, even though we were booking it. But
you did run through the night,
yeah,
for a night, so it is quite possible.
I imagine we're gonna have to find a place to get rest, unless we want to take up the spot that the Genasi were using.
It might not be the worst idea. There's structure there already.
Yeah. That sounds like a pretty good idea, actually.
The Earth Genasi village is just a little past 50 miles or so, and you are a little bit west of that.
No, third level spell slot it is then. I can, I might be able to get word back to Drindle if I have some chance to rest and meditate. It'll take a little while to get there, though. But it'll be faster than us heading back.
Is this the thing where you grab a bird and then send it off?
It is, yeah.
Does the bird talk for you?
It does, yeah. It uses my voice, too, which is fun.
I want to see this one day.
But I don't have that
Are there birds around?
ready today.
Do they just then feel compelled to go directly towards where you want them to go, or can they just meander?
They can kind of meander. I have to give them a general description, a visual description of who they're looking for and roughly about where they might find them.
Mm.
Do you think saying an elf with long hair is going to be enough?
Might get the job done depending on how specific I am with the location, but I'd probably give them a little more than that.
Okay.
Chase is already like awaiting this hyper specific description.
I'm actually more curious if Brielle was actually talking about Wilton Drindle in that moment.
She was, and she called him an elf instead of a half elf, and I'm aware.
Okay. I thought maybe she was talking about Fen, like, hey, can you send a bird to Fen?
No, she was talking about Drinnell being like, well,
Okay.
an elf with long hair seems like very vague, so I don't know how well the bird's gonna do.
Okay, well, sounds like you need rest then, and we should head back and do that.
Thanks for me.
Right. We head back to the Genasi village and set up a camp there in one of the little structures.
Yeah, absolutely. The only structure that has not been collapsed into the plateau at this point is the one with the forge. But it is big enough easily for you to set up tents or whatever you need to set up inside, though it is kind of open to the air a little bit. The actual forge, there still has smoldering coals within it that produce a fair bit of heat, so you'd be
Nice.
well sheltered there.
We're not that far behind them then.
Coal can burn for a long time.
It can.
In a forge, especially.
Yeah, when they've had it up to like 1,000 degrees, like it's.
All right, well, how do we want to do watch?
I can do one if you want. I haven't done one in a while.
Okay. I mean, did we all want to just do 2 hours then?
Sounds good.
I'll do the first one.
Okay. You can wake me up.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, it's actually just occurring to me. You guys took a rest after that fight, didn't you, with the freed
We did,
captives?
yeah. I thought so.
Okay. Totally slipped my mind. So retcon back a little bit. It would actually just be about middle of the day then, because you
Okay.
took you had your morning, you sent the former captives off, and then you took a little sidetrack southwest. Found the mine. Yeah, so
we're fully rested?
you should be fully rested.
Oh, right. Yeah,
After that long
okay.
rest you took.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had conversations and stuff.
Yes.
Well, I mean, none of us seem to remember that.
It was a traumatizing session last week. So it's okay that all 5 of us forgot momentarily.
All right, so then Rowan wouldn't need.
No, I
Rest.
don't have animal messenger prepared.
Oh, fair enough.
So next long sleep.
Don't you have the ability to like prepare something if you take like an hour or something? Or is that like a wizard thing that I'm
I
thinking?
think that's a wizard thing.
Okay.
I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Are we going to be too far for you to do that?
No, it'll be okay. I'll just need to imbue the critter with a little more magic, and it'll take him a little longer to get there.
Okay. Still better than us walking.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if something happens to us. We keep getting sidetracked every time we go somewhere.
Every time.
To be fair, it's not people's problem that they're in trouble, so we can't really get mad at them.
Well, I mean, a little bit is on them if they're not, strong enough to take care of themselves.
Okay, but we also kind of brought the Durgar to Silverbrook. So
Yeah, that was our fault.
That was-
yeah.
yeah. Sorry, I'm so snappy with you, Sylra.
I was just correcting you, saying that, they have a little bit of their own responsibility and everything. Anywho.
Keep looking for Genasi, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to follow their tracks northward? Who is going to make the survival check, I wonder?
Who's good at that?
Sylra?
With that +1.
In the bright light.
It's this way, I swear. Sylra, you're walking into a lake. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Just
sure.
staring at them.
I'll make one.
Yeah.
Like, good
Show
fuck or a
us,
bad
show
fuck?
us, show us.
Nice.
Oh.
Ooh,
28.
natural 20.
Yeah. Yeah. As I said, you spotted this when you first came to the village. There is a wide track that's heading northward. You can see that it's dozens of them. Like I said, it's not quite disturbing the earth quite as much as the Duergar war party did. But it's very clear that they all headed out as a group in this one direction. You can see that the column of the travel is like 5 wide in most places, and it sort of weaves back and forth. Interestingly, it doesn't follow a straight line. You can see that it veers off to the east for a while, where it it intercepts sort of with a river before veering back off to the west. It passes through sort of a wooded gale and then weaves off again, and you're kind of making your way around these major rock formations and passing to various water sources. As you continue on throughout the day, the elevation begins to increase. It almost is imperceptible as you're heading forward, but then at any point in the afternoon, as you look behind you, you can see how much higher you are than when you started. The terrain is becoming a little bit less manageable, though for you healthy adventurers, it's really nothing. But the inclines are getting a little steeper in places, and the passages are getting a little narrower in some places. You're having to walk on less stable ground in some places. But all in all, this path seems to be pretty safe as you follow it. And as Rowan is clearly not having any trouble at all following it, you at no point find yourself veering off of it into anything dangerous. But as you come to the end of the first day, or rather half day of travel, you do see that the tracks kind of widen out, and it looks like they took a stop here in this place. There are 4 stone pillars around the outside of this circle of where you can see that they were treading pretty heavily, and at the center is one very large stone that seems to have erupted directly out of the ground. Stands about 30 feet tall and 10 to 15 feet wide, depending on which point you measure. And it appears to be like a very, very dark gray or perhaps even black stone that's somewhat porous. Sort of almost looks otherworldly, but just by the very formation of it itself, you can tell that it did in fact emerge from the ground at some point. It may be something that's significant to the Genasi, but to you it's just a very weird giant stone protruding from the ground.
Is it kind of in the central location, like where they put their fire pit typically?
You can actually see that there was a fire pit on like either side of this.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's like definitely like in the middle of this circle of where you can see they were all traversing. You may even see signs of where they erected some tents or anything like that. Interestingly, there is no evidence that they erected any sort of stone structure here, even though you know they're capable of it.
It seems almost like they weren't intending to stay long, so.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recognize this stone, Rowan?
Do I recognize this stone?
Why don't you make a nature check?
Hey.
Unfortunately to you, this stone seems completely alien. Like you've never seen a surface stone like this ever.
I do more plants than rocks.
That's fair. I just thought we didn't know what Tanadrill technically is, so maybe it could be that, maybe not. I think it's an ore more than a rock, but this just seems weird. No place.
Hmm.
I agree with that.
Was there like a particular color to the little bit that we got of the Tenedrill, of what we thought was the Tenedrill?
Yes, that's like a white, white, gray, silvery color.
And
The-
very
Wren would
much.
still have it.
Sorry,
I
what's that?
think Sylra has it. We put it in her
Oh, does she?
bag.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
Yes,
in the
it
bag
does.
of holding.
Yeah, that way
Um,
we could cast that spell.
So very much not this color then.
No, it's literally the opposite color. Also, it's worth pointing out that the hammer that you made from Tenadrill, Brielle, would have been more of a it'd be more of like a almost like a gold or a brass color.
Okay. Now that I think about it, that hammer was different color than this, so I'm not quite sure. But like maybe it'll be important for something else. Who knows? We can always ask them when we get there.
Yeah, we don't know what the actual material that they have in the plans looks like either.
Mhm.
Of course, there's also no way to tell, so well, what shall we do then?
We just gonna start collecting rocks? See what works? I can break off a bit of this one, or try to.
You said this was just like a sort of random peak that came out of the ground, right?
Yeah, it just looks like a massive protruding black gray stone that's come out of the earth. There are 4 erected pillars around it, and it looks like the Earth Genasi kind of gathered around this spot for a time.
Hmm. I
I don't know.
wonder if you hit your rocks together, if anything would happen, Brielle.
Oh, that's a good idea. She'll
Mhm.
go in her bag and pull them out and like, smack the rocks.
Yeah, you smack the rocks and they give off that sort of weird reverberation that they do. And as that happens, you notice that the 2 pillars closest to you start to echo that sound, and then the 2 furthest from you also begin to echo that sound. This reverberation carries on for about 20 seconds before dying out.
They're very interesting.
You think it amplified it?
Yeah.
That's weird. She's like gonna look at the pillars. Just
I would like to do an investigation check to see if I notice anything.
Yeah, give me your investigation check in the tower, please. Yeah, you look around and you can see that it definitely looks like they erected tents here, probably for one night's rest. You can see evidence of people having gone off to gather more water. You can see that the fire pits were carefully doused before they left. And also you notice that on the 2 sides of the large stone in the middle, like the 2 sides that are opposite the fires, not the actual where the fires were, but 90 degrees to those. It looks like at some point, 2 people on each side were on their knees in front of this stone for a long time.
Oh. They did seem to revere this land and the High Father, didn't they? She says that she's kind of like bent down looking at the traces of whatever they were doing. I think perhaps they were praying here. Or worshipping something, some sort of ritual.
It did seem important that they were coming this way.
Then I guess that's why they wouldn't have stayed very long. How long did it take us to get here then if we left at midday?
It's getting into evening nighttime now for sure. You've made a good distance, but
Well, we may not catch up with them unless we want to push ourselves through a night again. But for now, we do have safe spots to rest, it seems.
We could rest one more time so Rowan can do his thing and then push through faster the next day.
That sounds like a good plan.
I feel rested now. I feel like I could run a good distance tomorrow.
Well, maybe we should fill up our water supply. It looked like they were heading down that way to fill theirs, so it must be safe. Wren's gonna...
Oh, no, go. I was just going to get firewood.
Yeah, Wren will... Does anybody else want their water skin filled? I can take it.
Oh, sure. I'll go with you. Even if we think it's safe here, we should probably not go off on our own, just in case.
The buddy system.
Yeah.
Here, why don't you guys take mine?
Yeah, you can
I'll
take
stick with Brielle.
All right. So head over and get some water then.
yeah, absolutely. Following the tracks that you discovered, it's not difficult to find the stream that they were gathering water from, and you can tell that this water sourced from ice melting further up the mountain, so it is likely safe. While Brielle and Sylra are gathering firewood to make a fire for the evening,
Yeah.
Not far off in the opposite direction is a lot of dried out trees at this point in fall, and the gathering firewood is easily done. But before long, you manage to get back with both fire and water ready to go. And you're welcome to take a long rest without any issue, unless you guys would like to discuss what's in front of you here.
Just when we do catch up with the Genasi, what are we gonna ask of them? I'm not personally super clear on that.
Well, we need to know what Tenedril is and if we can get a decent supply of it.
The blacksmith said that they found a big vein, so even if it's not around here, she would be able to tell us better what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, of course, you want to go steal from the dwarves.
Not really.
All right then. This is our option to not do that.
Then should I hold off on asking Drindle in the morning if we're not sure that sending a message to Drindle in the morning if we're not sure that what we found's what he needs?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Might lead him on a wild goose chase.
He will probably be annoyed if he has to waste resources for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So we can take this sample that we found, and you know that there's more of whatever that was there, and if it is Tenedril, then we can send a message off to Drindle.
Rowan, thumbs up.
All right. Would you like to take a long rest?
Sure.
what are your watch schedules going to be?
We'll do what we had set up before with
Yeah.
Brielle
Mhm.
first.
Everyone taking 2 hours. All right, Brielle, as the others get down for some rest, give me your perception check. And what is it that she is doing as she watches?
She's probably taken her shield and her axe and is just like going over the runes that have been carved in it. And she's just kind of like cleaning any dirt out of them or any grime and things, polishing up everything she can, making sure her blade doesn't have any nicks in it, sort of thing, just maintaining.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you're able to go over your axe pretty well throughout the night. Nothing seems to occur around the campsite that you can see. You do kind of realize after an hour or so that you've been entranced by what you're doing for a while and sort of suddenly go like, oh, is anything? No, it looks okay.
Really not good at this.
But after 2 hours, everything still appears to be safe.
She'll just like go over to Sylra and like actually like kneel down and like gently rock her as to not like spook her, even though she's in a trance. She's just like, I don't want to spook her. So, Sylra, your turn.
Okay. Yeah. I'm fine. Go get some
Good.
sleep.
Okay.
Nothing happened though.
No, it seems fine.
That's great. Okay, go sleep.
Okay. She'll like look where Wren's set up and like go sleep beside Wren.
Yeah. Yeah, you get some rest. And Sora, what do you set up to do as you're kind of keeping watch?
She's gonna sort of just wander around in the dark, watching out. Not really do anything.
Fair enough. Yeah, you're just kind of pacing back and forth, keeping an eye out, making sure everything's safe. And with your superior dark vision, you have a clear view of your surroundings. What you didn't notice immediately, but sort of all of a sudden go, wait a second. You look up into the sky and you can see what you thought was a cloud passing in front of the moon was in fact a swarm of something. You see dozens, maybe hundreds of things moving in unison. For a moment, they pass in front of the moon and then swirl back. You see them descend rapidly onto something in the distance. You hear sort of the pained of some sort of wild animal being afflicted by whatever this swarm is. It's distant and subtle, but with the combination of your dark vision and having been tracking it through the sky, you're able to make it out that this is coming from the northeast. As you continue your watch, you kind of keep an eye out, having been alerted to this threat. And you do, on occasion, see them swarm in front of something that's illuminated. But other than that, it's hard to make them out in the distance. And that's the events of your 2 hours.
Yeah. She's going to go over to Rowan and sort of nudge him awake. So nothing happened, but there's a swarm of something flying around. Maybe just watch to see if they come any closer.
I'll keep an eye out. Which direction?
They were coming from the northeast.
Got it. Get some rest.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I will take mine.
Yeah, give me your perception check in the tower, please. Yeah. So you, does Rowan do anything as he's taken up watch, or is he kind of just focused?
Yeah, I'm thinking that, he's looking along the horizon at the stars and where they are and what they're doing, and he sees that it bodes well for us today.
All right. Yeah, well, you're kind of watching the stars, and you're reading sort of the portents out of them and feeling like things are going to be going well. And as that happens, you, much like sylra, see darkness passing in front of starlight. And as they move around, you kind of make out the general shape of a large swarm of many creatures. Passes in front of one of the other moons now as they swirl around to the south of you. You can see it looks quite sizable, and as sylra noticed, at least dozens, maybe hundreds. The group sort of swirls around where you are, high up in the sky, and you get the sense that maybe they've identified a location. All at once, dozens of them descend from the swarm, and you hear thud, 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 as they collide with something in the air. You watch up as they're literally impacting off of nothing and deflecting off into another direction.
Ooh, cool.
About how far away is this?
That happens about 50 feet above you.
Oh,
He's protected.
okay. That's neat. I'm going to keep watching them in case they stop being deflected.
Absolutely.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, you keep watching, but like eventually the group sort of continues to slam into it for a while, but then they just kind of swarm off into another direction.
Do I have any kind of notion what these creatures are?
Quite possibly. It's pretty dark. I know you have dark vision, but they were mostly out at a distance and moving pretty rapidly. Give me a nature check. Yeah, I'd say that Rowan, having watched them slam and be momentarily stationary against whatever this force is above him, they look like sturges to him.
Okay.
Which are pretty minor creatures for adventures of your caliber, but in a group of hundreds like
That's
they
a lot.
were, it could pose a threat to
That
just
would
about
suck.
anyone.
Hey.
Can we give inspiration to this?
Aw, I just
Aw.
got
I'm
it.
kidding. You're fine.
Hey
That
man, I
was
just
good.
got this thing.
But other than that insane thing that just happened, your watch goes on
That's
without
wild.
any issue.
That's wild. I mean, I guess since I'll wake up Wren at some point. Yeah.
Okay.
I finished my rest though. So you just have company.
Yeah, Wren gets up and she's just like, well, first of all, we weren't alerted at all with that noise that happened above us? Thanks.
No. I mean, it was 50 feet up, and it was kind of mulled by the fact that it appears to be some sort of magical force, like on the outer side of whatever that was. So, like, to Rowan, it's like, oh, that's a bunch of thuds. But like for someone who's not listening out for it, it might have sounded like rain hitting the ground. Like,
All right. She gets up and she's like, watch was uneventful?
Kinda. There seems to be some sort of protective force around this spot. You seen sturges before? You run into those?
I don't think Wren would have. Would she have?
not likely. No, not in
Um,
Wren circles.
What?
Well,
What are
It's
those?
like if a bat had a mosquito's mouth.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, they're usually just kind of annoying, but there were a few hundred of them maybe that were bouncing off of some kind of dome about 50 feet that way, and they gesture up. I think they got bored and left.
Huh. I suppose that's what they were doing here, perhaps, then, with the rocks.
Seems reasonable.
Do you have something that you need to do, or are you good to continue to watch?
I'm good to continue. I'm done. If you want to go back to sleep, I know we talked about each taking 2 hours, and I already made that executive decision to let somebody sleep once when they asked me not to. So,
Well, I was actually just thinking of. It occurred to me that this is a very different culture than I'm used to back home, and I just would like to learn more. And so, if you're all right with it, and she kind of like gestures to the rock area, I might poke around there a bit longer.
Go for it.
Wren is gonna go to where it looks like they were kneeling down in front of it, and she kind of recalls that Sylra had mentioned the High Father had been like calling to her, and she remembers that the Earth Genasi also felt that the mountain was calling to them. And she's not really like a religious sort of person, but she is very keen on keeping up with customs of other cultures and history. And so she kind of just sits where one of them were sitting.
Right.
And she like kneels down there, takes off her sandals, and just kind of closes her eyes and tries to open up her mind with all the skepticism that like is floating through it to the possibility of hearing the mountain the way these other people seem to.
That's really cool, and I would like you to make a religion check in the tower with advantage, because this is really a unique development that I didn't expect from Wren, so I want to reward that.
She's not very good at religion.
That's why you're getting advantage.
It's just more history, but here we go. I also have my D8.
It is a scale, so if you'd like to roll your D8,
okay.
You may get something more. I will say that did it. You're kind of prostate here, holding out to the stone. You're feeling something. You're not quite sure what. You're not even quite sure you believe that any of this holds any value. But as you reach out in this moment, you do feel a certain something, like this low rumble. And as you kind of try to open your mind and be accepting of this experience, it occurs to you that this low rumble reminds you of the stones resonating with the pillars. And as you focus in on that resonation, you sort of instinctively feel your mind resonating with a deeper, larger, ancient mind. There is a reverberance happening between you and it, and as you use your unique psychic gift to open yourself further to it, you feel something deep and powerful connect with you.
I think given the way that she had her mind like overtaken just the day before, there's something inside of her that she musters to push further instead of allowing it. She's kind of like meeting it.
Yeah, and you sort of come up against it. It doesn't in any way try to penetrate, but at the same time you feel your minds kind of link for a moment. Its understanding and your understanding are almost completely incompatible, but you feel a will to survive. You feel a drive to create, and more than anything, you feel the pain of being betrayed and imprisoned.
I think that feeling causes some level of like her bottom lip quivers slightly. Her eyes get like a sheen of moisture on them, but she's not quite crying. And she just gulps really hard, and she kind of pulls herself back, and she just sits there for a while, I think, like uncertain of what to make of it before she gets up. She's like probably aware that Rowan's like there seeing everything all at once, and she kind of gets up and shakes it off as if nothing had happened.
Yeah. As you feel your minds now separating, you can't help but feel the distinct touch of where you met with this thing. And deep in your chest, you feel a longing to dive deeper into the mountain.
All right, then. We'll see how that plays out. And she just continues on until she hears the others stirring awake, and then she'll start slowly undoing camp and making sure that they're making the most of the day.
What are the rest of you doing as you get up in the morning, having not had a religious experience?
Brielle will probably just try and like make some sort of breakfast for them using their rations, anything she can to help out. Pack up if people need help packing up their stuff. She'll look around and see if there's any more of those clicky rocks, in case they're like made out of in case they're made of something different, like a different material that like might reverberate different or be for this area.
Fair enough. As you look around, you don't see any of the same stones here. You don't see any sort of distinct pair of stones sitting around either. For whatever reason, they aren't left on the outskirts of this particular camp they use.
Okay.
I think once they're all up too, Wren is just like, oh, Rowan told me something interesting about what happened last night. There seems that these rocks here are used to protect this area. So we did choose wisely in camping here.
That's good. Did that swarm, did it come closer?
Yeah, it was about 50 some odd feet away, I think it was trying to get at us, but there was some dome of force or repulsion that it couldn't get through. Well, good keeping an eye out. Oh yeah, real big.
Oh. Must have come after I fell asleep.
Yeah, I saw it during mine.
She wasn't at all distracted.
Not at all.
Have you ever seen a sturge, Brielle?
No.
Rowan described them pretty awfully to me.
What are they? What do they look like?
Well, it looks like a bat, but with the mouth of a mosquito. Nice long.
That's gross.
Yeah, they like blood, like mosquitoes, but they're a lot bigger. So
Like
They'd be in that
this big,
undercommon, right?
this big,
Yeah.
this big. Yeah, there.
Sturges?
about like that.
No, they wouldn't be in the Underdark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Undercommon, oh my gosh.
Undercommon's the language. That's fine.
I know.
The common room in the Underdark. The Undercommons.
The
Are they
Undercommon.
common in the mountains?
That's where they all
Rowan?
gather together, and
Are they common up here, Shanks?
they're common enough. Yeah, they're. I mean, much like bats and mosquitoes, they're kind of an annoyance all over the place.
Yeah,
I'll keep
they're
an eye
around.
out for them then.
Not usually in swarms that large. That could be a little trouble.
Who's ready to run today?
Run? I mean, I guess I could, but I might leave you guys behind if I do my best.
Right, I ate plenty of oats.
To be fair, I've seen you run and you can run really far. It usually takes me a while to get where you are.
Well, maybe someone stay with me just in case I trip on something, because it is bright.
Brielle's trying not to laugh at that.
She looks very,
I
very
can stay with you.
uncomfortable.
I'll stay with you, Sylra. It's okay.
I'm not actually going to run. We can all
Oh.
go together. But I'm ready to go. Rowan, you know where we're going better than I do.
That way.
Let's get another survival check from Rowan. Not that it'll be any worse, I'm sure.
I mean, it's kind of hard to do any better.
Roll another nat 20, or you're fired.
Later,
You're
guys.
Close enough. Yeah, you're able to pick up the trail again really easily. It's you're still above 20, and this is really not a difficult trail to follow. You continue to follow it northwards, and again, it does weave a little bit. You're finding it you can see that they've taken a pretty relaxed pace at traveling. You know, they stop at every resource. They stop at places they find interesting. You know, they've got a lot of children with them too, so they kind of keep a pretty, easy, casual approach to the mountain.
Every rest stop.
Yeah, exactly. And you can tell, Rowan, that these tracks are pretty old. They're still here because it's a large group. But, they must have set out like literally the day after you left them. But even in the short time that you're following these tracks, you're noticing they're getting a little bit fresher. They're still quite old, but you're making up the time by following them. And is there anything anyone would like to do while you're kind of following these tracks northward, higher and higher up into the High Father's sort of foothills and eventually onto the mountain proper?
I think Brielle's keeping an eye out for Sturgis now that she's aware they exist.
Absolutely. Give me a perception check. Oh my God, Brielle.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but I feel like that's bad.
I don't like to reveal the perception checks, but I would like to point out that this is what both of your previous perception checks were.
Yeah.
So
Great. Guys, we're safe. I got this.
I think Wren just comes up beside Brielle and she's like, I don't think I haven't forgotten what you told us about Jorff.
What?
Did you not hear me?
No, I heard you. I was just trying not to.
Sylra chuckles beside them.
I mean, it must have meant a lot to you if you thought it best to bring it up when you did, right?
Well, I was just more so telling you what I told Nadia because I figured it was best that I told you everything because she said she talked to me when we got to Kine.
Hmm.
I didn't expect it.
So are you two dating then?
I have no idea. We went out and I didn't think it was a date, but I guess how it ended, potentially it was a date. I really wish these things would like be more defined when they happen.
Well, I don't need to hear about like the kissing and whatnot, but what did you do then on this not a date?
I tried to teach him magic.
Where did this occur?
There was this like old abandoned shop that he took me to, and we went on the roof. And I like laid my bedroll out, and then like we were on it together, and then I was like trying to teach him stuff. Yeah.
I think Wren's not doing a very good job of hiding her expressions at the moment. Her eyebrows are
Was that
raised.
wrong? Should I not have done that?
No, that sounds very clearly like a date to me.
Oh.
Very forward of you too, laying out your bedroll.
Well, it was dirty on the ground. I was thinking it was like a picnic blanket.
Maybe we should get you a picnic blanket. I don't.
Well, I was actually going to steal my bed sheet from Drindle's and like take that along with all the candles along with me. But then I was with Rowan, and Rowan was taking forever to make plants grow, and I was watching grass grow real slow, and I just decided I'd go straight from there.
Candles.
Yeah.
Do you
Because
know
like
how?
wizards have them all over their castle, like their towers, right? And so like that's you gotta set. I've seen this in a book when I was a kid, so they have like candles everywhere, and so that's got to be part of the magic, right? No,
The magic of a date.
wizards go on a lot of dates. Is that why they have so many candles? Yeah.
I'm not in this conversation.
It all sounds
Okay,
very sweet, Brielle. I think
It
I'm very
does.
happy for you.
I think I'll just run stuff by you guys next time I have an idea.
But do you not like what happened?
No, I thought it was nice. I mean, he couldn't cast magic, so that was a disappointment. But
Then did he kiss you after that anyway?
yeah, when we got back to the Deer and Damsel, he was like, "Oh, Brielle, it's been great. Oh, you don't have to help my mom." And I was like, "Well, yeah, I have to help your mom. I promised her so that I could take you out, and then that would make me a liar if I didn't help her." And he was like, "No, it's okay, Brielle. Don't worry about it." And I was like, No, I'm gonna go in." And then he was like, "No, Brielle, don't worry." And then finally, I think he just got fed up with me and asked if he could kiss me.
Probably would have done the same thing.
Well, I had to help. I actually did end up going to like wash the floor and do the dishes and stuff. That's why I was late coming back.
Well, it sounds to me like you don't need her help then.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I
you've
don't know.
got
Apparently,
this.
candles is a bad idea.
Our girl has grown up. She's more romantic than we are.
It's. I don't think it had the intended. Whatever you were trying to intend with it. Candles would have made it more romantic, though.
Got it. Candles are no.
Bedroll, no.
Bedroll, no.
Until, you're at a different stage.
So when I come back and I found out how bards and clerics work, got it.
Sure.
Man, I can help you a
I
little bit
couldn't
with the
teach him
cleric part.
everything. And he didn't want to be a druid, and that was the best I had, so...
Well, Rowan's not just a druid, right?
No?
I thought we talked about this. That's okay. I can help you a little. I can give you some cleric pointers too, if that's more your speed.
Okay, let's try that, because I don't have that written in my book yet, so
Yeah,
that'd be great to...
Let's do that.
Yeah. Okay. Are we done talking about this? This makes me really uncomfortable, and I still don't know how I feel. But like, if you want to ask me more questions, I'll answer your questions. I think it was good. I've never kissed a boy, so I don't know if it was good or not, but I think it was good.
That's all that matters then. So, hopefully this will prepare you for your discussion with Nadia. Maybe she'll be more helpful too.
Got it.
Yeah, no, she knows a thing or two about that.
Like what?
I don't think you want to know the answer to that question.
It would border
Okay.
on me telling you about my dreams.
Oh, nope, don't want to know that. No, thank you.
I think for like a moment, Wren considers sharing some of her own recent experience with Brielle to make her feel better, but then she just kind of picks up her pace a little bit and is just like, well, let's just drop it then if it's making you uncomfortable.
I just don't know what else to tell you guys. Maybe if more happens, I'll tell you then.
I'd like that.
Or we could die tomorrow. Who knows?
We could.
I hope not.
We've come very close a few times. At least I have.
I'm aware.
It's kind of embarrassing, to be honest. I never had such trouble when by myself. There were a couple of times where I was very wounded and needed Rowan's help, but not on the brink of death like that.
Have you fought a dragon before?
No, I suppose not. At least not one that I knew was a dragon. They do take other forms from what I hear.
Really?
They can appear like people.
Well,
They're strong
at least you
enough.
haven't fought one like that.
Yes, I think I'll find it almost relaxing when I get a job in a city again. Though Vor's Delta was also very difficult.
Whereas Delta was awful.
I do hope that kind doesn't run into that sort of state of criminal activity in the future.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as you have this in-depth conversation about so many things, you continue to make your way high up into the mountain. You've gone up in elevation possibly by hundreds of feet at this point, and yet the High Father seems eternally spanning upwards, impossibly tall. You feel as though when you look forward, you have made no progress at all, and as you look behind you, you have climbed up so impossibly high already. You find yourself navigating various rocky outcroppings and streams being cut into the side of the mountain as the glacial ices above you thaw. Rowan being distracted by tracking. What is the highest passive perception outside of him? Anyone?
Where is that?
Should be on your main page, your main tab.
Oh,
11.
passive perceptions?
Yeah.
9.
How am I more perceptive than Wren?
Because
14.
I rolled like shit and wanted good charisma, dex, and con.
Valid.
That was a 14 from Sylra,
Yeah.
modified by your sunlight sensitivity.
Ah, shit.
So we'll call that a 12 in the sunlight as you are. So not good all around. I'm going to say even distracted by tracking as he is. Rowan's the first one to pick up. As you make your way following their tracks. Rowan, at first you're kind of just taken out of the zone of following this path. As it's growing a little bit more complicated the further up you get. The ground's a little rockier, it's getting a little bit more misplaced. But you're still keeping on top of it. It's noticeable to you. But at first you're kind of brought out of that sort of zone of following this track as you realize it stops suddenly at the edge of a drop down into a stream. It kind of draws your attention to sort of the wider area as you look around for a way to sort of reason this out. And as you do, you kind of see movement in the distance. Doesn't really sort of spark anything just yet. As you look over the edge, you can see there looks to be a pile of stones beneath you in this sort of gulch created by the stream. And you see as it crosses, the stones seem to span the space on the water surface between you and another rocky outcropping, and then there seems to be more from that to another. It looks as though the Genasi had created for themselves temporary bridges that they collapsed after passing over. But even as you're sort of puzzling out this weird track, once again, this motion in your peripheral sort of draws your eyes up, and it almost feels like it's already too late as you see this large black winged creature moving towards you. And I would like everyone to roll initiative, please.
What is that?
And I will bring up your map.
Every time.
Hey.
Okay, literally, Brielle, that is 3 nat 1s in a row for you.
I tell you, Shanks, it's these dice.
These virtual dice.
I'm so perplexed at how you've pulled this off.
See, and B-Town rolled a 7. Like, come on.
Now the rule is if one of the enemies, if the enemy rolls a 7, then B-Tag gets to control the enemy.
Oh, is that so?
How would we even do that?
B-Town just gets to declare that the enemy surrenders and runs away.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming in hot from the northwest, you see this large, I believe, right? Yeah, large, black winged creature, long tail, long neck, streaking towards you. It lets out this terrible shrieking noise as the wyvern approaches.
Wyvern, I barely know bird.
That doesn't
Okay,
even
now
make sense.
we
It's
can
literally-
give her disadvantage.
Yeah. You get disadvantage on all future checks.
She didn't learn the first time.
Displace her. I barely know her. See, that one worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wyvern streaks towards you, and as it lets out this terrible shrieking noise, you hear a similar noise coming from the northwest of you.
Flock of wyverns.
Good job, Wren. You are going to be going first in initiative. I didn't share the map yet, did I?
Nope.
Reading.
Not bad. Not bad. Hold on. I'm only making it bigger somehow. I don't know how I'm doing that.
That's what she said.
I'll give you that. All right, you undid the terrible pun. should be popping up for you. Sorry, it's a big one again.
Oh my god.
You're not
Well,
sorry.
we
When you
will-
keep saying you're
Stop
sorry and not
lying to
learning
us.
from it, then you're not sorry.
Have
I
to
learned
wait a
not to
moment.
make so many light sources. Does
Okay.
That does
count?
really
That's
seem to help it
awesome.
load faster. There being fewer light sources, because this is already loaded for me.
Yeah, see? Yeah, see? Oh boy, I'm sweating. All right. Wren, you did an awesome job on initiative, and it is your turn. The Wyvern is still about 50 feet out from you. It is flying in the air, but it is only like maybe 10 feet off the ground. It is sort of doing that slow soar thing to gain speed.
Okay, can you give me a general idea of what I'm looking at here water-wise? Is this like a actual lake sort of situation? Is
So
it
this is-
traversable?
No, this is a running stream that is moving fairly fast. This has been a stream that's been cutting through the mountain for centuries, and has cut quite deep. So where you see the end of the land, that's sort of a sheer drop off, like 40 feet down into the water, and the water is moving pretty quickly. Were you to fall in that, there's a good chance you're not coming out. You might. I don't know what your athletic score is.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna. Does that look like? So my plan is to go this like to the left, and then could I like jump across? That looks like it's pretty. Like there's a pretty small gap there.
Yeah, the gap is definitely narrower there. It's as you get in close, like you can see that it's sort of sheer on both sides. So it's like you're still jumping about 15 feet if you want to land on something remotely graspable. Not 15 feet, more like 10 feet to get to something like that.
So if I go there, that's still the case. I'm jumping 15 feet.
You'd be jumping to about like past this line to get. So it's 10 feet minimum to get to something that you might actually get footing on. Otherwise, you're going to slide right down into the water.
Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna use my movement, my bonus action, and my action to just suddenly move around here.
Yeah, what's your strength score?
Not very high. Could I argue that I use acrobatics to do something?
Yes, but I want to know what your strength score is.
8.
Okay, then yes, give me an acrobatics check.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Okay, you can do that.
Hopefully that's enough.
It is not.
Cool.
You use all your speed. You run and take this incredible leap. You soar through the air, but the second your feet hit the ground, you realize you hit at like a 60-degree angle.
Is this something that I could use my psychic die on?
Yes, it is. You can use your psychic die.
So I'm hanging on here, and then it kind of dawns on me that I'm not making this.
Yeah, as soon as your feet hit the side of this cliff at this 60-degree angle, and you realize, like, you can feel yourself about to lose your footing completely. And at the last second, this burst of psychic energy just bursts underneath your feet and lifts you up onto the cliff. You kind of roll over onto the grassy field and find your footing once more.
It's like, that's not my best work, but it'll do. And that'll be her turn.
All right.
Doesn't want to end up in the water over there, so.
Yeah, totally fair. Rowan, it is to you.
Clouds start condensing over nowhere, out of nowhere over top of Rowan as he casts Call Lightning.
Yeah, absolutely. I figured this spell would come up again.
And brings one down on top of this wyvern in front of us.
Mute myself. Yeah, it's a big deal.
Kaboom!
So, yeah, this big dark cloud forms in the sky 100 feet above you, and all at once condense into this bolt of lightning that strikes down at the wyvern. Roll your damage, and oh yeah, you see it reel back suddenly as this bolt streaks through it, and you see a burst of energy on the earth below it. Rocks thrown out in every direction. It screeches angrily and focuses in its view on you, somehow instinctively knowing the magic source.
I'm gonna hide behind Brielle.
I mean, technically from that angle, you're hiding behind Sylra, but that's fine.
Fine, I'll go over here.
There you go.
Protect me, Squire!
Yeah, totally.
Damn, it
From
rolled
the-
so low, and still we have 2 party members after it.
From off in the northwestern corner of the map, you see this big rocky plateau that has taken shape behind some tall foliage, and you see sort of the inklings of some sort of mass situated on top of this plateau, and from this mass erupts a second wyvern as it flies towards the commotion. What are their flying speeds? 80. Well, that's
They're pretty
super
quick.
cool.
Pretty
They are quick.
dandy for you.
Let's see, how far is Wren from it? 150, which is within its dash speed. So it is going to fly at full speed out towards Wren, soaring
good.
up a little bit in order to start making a dive bomb towards her, but not this turn. So it is about 30 feet in the air above you and about 20 feet away from you, or 15 feet away from you. The other one, having been hit by Rowan's lightning, similarly flies towards him, soaring up initially and then dropping down significantly towards Rowan, coming down on the other side of Brielle.
Would it have been within opportunity attack range, or it comes down on the
No.
other side of him?
Yeah, it comes
Got it.
like sort of straight down on him from the other side. You know what? I'll let you make an opportunity attack as it moves away from you, though, because it does have
Are
to
you
be
sure?
within
I
like
have
5 feet
Sentinel.
of him. Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm being fair.
I appreciate it, and I'm trying to do the same thing.
Okay.
People are appreciating your map, Shanks.
Aw, it's
So I can make-
huge, but you know I like it,
He likes big maps. Okay.
and I cannot lie. Let's see. One with its
Big
bite,
wet
one with
maps.
its stinger. Yeah, let's do that.
Bring it
Rowan,
on.
it flies in towards you. Oh, it has a range of 10 feet. Sorry, Brielle. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have
That's
to get
okay.
within range of you. It soars down and swoops past Rowan, making a bite attack with its long neck.
That'll
That's
hit.
a hit. Do you have some bullshit to pull?
You always gotta ask, David.
With this party, there's like 3 people who can do bullshit
true.
when they get hit. So I'm like,
I can do no bullshit when I get hit.
no bullshit. Got it. All right. So that bite's going to get in deep with. Oh, that's your concentration save. Cool. Yeah, it gets in deep and bites hard. You feel the teeth piercing into you for 12 damage. And as it swoops by, you can feel the wind with the flap of its powerful wings. Its stinger lashes out towards you like a scorpion's tail. That's the bad one. Your
Oh, yeah.
shield gets up in between you and it at the last second. You see the stinger puncture the wood and then gets ripped away from it as it flies past you over to here. And that's its turn. Sylra. And I would like to remind you, you are in sunlight and muted.
And muted, yes. So she's going to pull her veil over since she has not used it today.
Absolutely.
And then she is going to, since she's still within range.
Point of order, Shanks. Would it still be considered bright light if I have conjured a massive 120-foot diameter storm cloud above us? or 120 foot radius even.
Hmm.
The answer can be yes. Sun is very bright.
The sun is very bright, and it's also not necessarily directly above where that is happening. 120-foot radius?
It's Big Cloud.
Big
No, you know
cloud for a
what?
big map.
I'll give you that. No, Sylra, you don't need to pull your veil. You are not in direct sunlight, nor is the Wyvern.
Okay, awesome.
60 foot radius. I'm sorry, it is 120 foot diameter. I was
Ugh.
right the first time.
The whole map.
The Wyvern is, in fact, in sunlight. If you were hitting it from where it was, and more or less where it is now, kind of thing, then yeah, that's gonna have to be.
So she pulls her veil, and then she is going to cast Fairy Fire on Wyvern number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Roll that saving throw for it, and it succeeds as your
Nope.
burst.
It's within 30 feet of me. Now I have some bullshit.
All right.
I am
bullshit do you have?
going to use that to knock off D6 from its saving throw with my reaction from my Cosmic Omen.
Absolutely. Use up one use of that, or whatever, how that works. That drops it absolutely below. So go ahead and apply the effect to it. Should. Yep. Yeah. So this burst of fairy fire comes forth, and for a split second, it looks like it bats it all away with its wing, and all at once, Rowan pulls the starlight forward, and this force of fairy fire just reemerges and converges onto the thing's torso. You see it pristinely lit up, and you now have advantage on your attacks.
Yes. Okay, and then she is going to move about there.
All right. Brings us to Brielle.
Under her breath, she's going to mutter, I jinxed myself. I mentioned running and dragons, and here we are. And then she's going to run probably 20 feet, seeing as she saw him try and attack Rowan from 10 feet.
Yeah.
And then she's going to throw her javelin at it. That was the battle axe. I clicked the wrong thing.
The attack roll is the same, so that's fine.
Okay.
Roll your damage for the javelin.
Okay. And then savage attacker, only for melee?
Is that for melee specifically?
No, it's
Okay.
for anything. So 1, 2.
All right, we'll take that 4 and apply it to Wyvern 1.
Now, with the javelin, does it come back enough for her to do her second attack?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
It's an instantaneous. As soon as it hits, you bring it back to him.
Back in. Perfect. So we're going to attack again.
Oh, that's another hit. So Brielle lines up and chucks the javelin. It gets right in the lower torso, immediately phasing back to hand as she chucks it again, getting in the opposite upper shoulder. And you see the wyvern sort of twisting in the air, screeching as black blood just spills out onto the ground below.
And when she grabs her javelin back the second time, a rune is going to glow on it, and it's going to be the cloud rune. So that one just means she will have, it's the piercing, bludgeoning, slashing damage, the
You have resistance to
brain
that?
dying. But yeah, that's the word.
Got it.
Do that.
Do you have
one.
an effect to give that to yourself?
Yes.
Good. Cool. And that's end of your turn?
That's the end of my turn.
Beautiful. Yeah. As this is all happening over there, Wren, you're recovering from your tumble, jumping across the river. You find yourself face to face with a wyvern on your own.
Is there anything in the area, like I see there's a lot of dips in terrain and there's a lot of vegetation here. Is there anywhere that she could maybe duck in and hide?
Let's see. If you went over to here, you could break line of sight and hide behind the
Cool.
rocky ridge there.
I'm gonna do that.
All right, yeah. Wren runs across the field, kind of seeing the trajectory of this wyvern running perpendicular to its momentum. She slides down onto this rocky undercropping, and yeah, I'd say you definitely broke line of sight with it. It seems to have lost you.
So yeah, 25 feet bonus action hide, and then I'm going to toss my dagger at it. Please.
Yeah, give yourself advantage.
Oops, hold on. I just realized I had advantage on the overlay too. I need to take that off. Cool. Target Wyvern 2. And where's my psychic blade? Oh.
That is definitely a hit. From your hidden position behind the rocks, you chuck one psychic blade out, soars through the air, colliding with the wyvern right in the base of its neck. Let's see that damage roll.
Sneak attack.
Yeah, you see the blade collide with it, and this psychic energy burst throughout it. It reels back and lets out this terrible screech.
That was all of my action economy. I'm gonna just have 5 feet of movement left, so I'm just gonna go there.
All right.
Yep.
Rowan.
So I'm going to then channel some more cosmic energy through myself and enter into the starry form of the archer, and I start glowing to make things difficult for Sylra on purpose.
It's not sunlight.
No, it is bright light though. I don't know if that matters.
It doesn't. It's specifically
Okay.
sunlight sensitivity.
Okay. I'll step over this way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think 65 math. What's the range on this? Is it more than 60 feet? It's exactly 60 feet. Is there anywhere I could have gotten that would put me in 60 feet of Wyvern number 2?
Where? Well, I lost track of where you were. Did you move 30 feet there?
I don't remember. I wasn't paying attention.
You expect them to know what he did on his turn?
I think you moved 30 feet, and I really don't see any way you can get further unless you want to use like your pace step.
Wyvern number 1 gets to be the lucky winner of the recipient of both of these then.
All right.
So lightning down from above and a starry bolt emanating from my person.
Absolutely. So make that dex save and damage roll. That is absolutely a failure, as it's reeling and turning from the attacks of Brielle. It suddenly is inflicted with another bolt of lightning. You see it shudder in the air before sort of gathering itself and taking to flight once more. But as it does this, the starry bolt comes in and collides with its face, and you can see this wyvern looking very irritated in the moment.
That's my turn.
All right, and now it's the wyvern's turn. Wyvern 2 has only Wren in its sights at the moment.
Let's go.
And as it sort of gathers itself after that strike and changes its trajectory, it swoops in and around past Wren, and as it does so, it snaps at her with its toothy maw.
I'm
As
going.
a hit.
Yeah, okay. Let that hit.
You letting that hit?
Yep.
All right. As it soars in, you can feel its teeth piercing into you. You sort of get away from the worst of it, but you definitely feel several puncture wounds in your midsection. And as it streaks by you, you see that tail once again lash out behind it as it strikes with its stinger.
It's doing a different attack now? Oh,
Yes.
it missed anyway. Okay.
And yes, it does. As Wren quickly jumps to the side as that happens, you see the stinger into the ground, and as it pulls away, you can see this thick, purpley liquid filling the gaping hole in the ground it left behind. But
So I feel like that would have been bad.
that would have been very bad. As it soars past you,
Is it not going out of my range, or
It
is
is,
it?
but it's got a 10-foot reach.
Okay.
Yeah. Which was also why Brielle didn't get a chance.
Lame.
And you see it like it literally just flies past you about 10 feet and then up into the air another 10 feet as it turns to make another dive bomb towards you.
Shanks was mad at that sentinel feat last.
Yeah.
That has absolutely no bearing on what I do. I'm happy to see you guys succeed. I don't think you realize that. I'm just also willing to challenge you as much as possible. Wyvern 1, see, now this is the thing. Brielle's also troubling it, but Rowan's doing the most trouble to it. But Brielle's
So
also
far.
closer, and Wyverns aren't particularly intelligent. I'm going to say it changes tactics and attacks Brielle on its way past her, staying at 10-foot reach. As it flies overhead, you see its long neck snap down and snap at you. That is a miss, however, as your shield gets up in between you and it and prevents the bite from connecting. It soars overhead and that tail swoops down once again, striking at you from behind. But Brielle's so armored up, you know?
Thanks, Dad.
As it soars overhead, it climbs up into the sky once more, getting up to about 30 feet as it turns its direction towards Rowan once more. But that's its turn. Sylra.
Okay. So she is going to cast Hex on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're dropping Fairy Fire then.
Oh shit, never mind. Never mind, I keep Fairy Fire. Take it back. She is just going to do Eldritch Blast.
All right, hold on. Let me drop your hex from your effects then. All right, go ahead.
Nice.
That's a hit.
Hit. And
Nice.
Yeah, carefully weighing her options, Sylra lines up with the creature as it moves about and draws forth her Eldritch Power. Two beams collide with the creature, and again, you see it impact it heavily as it sort of spirals through the air, trying to recover from the hit. Though you guys are clearly ripping into this thing, its draconic blood is resilient, keeping it flowing, keeping it flying, keeping it ready to attack. Is there anything else you can do, Sylra?
yeah, she's going to move away 30 feet.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll give you that. You kind of like run up on this grassy hill and then find yourself having to leap like 5 feet down off this like it's sort of an elevated rocky cropping, but you leap down into sort of the heavy foliage there, and yeah, I mean, you're able to make it. It's not a big deal, but you even kind of sheltered a little bit there. Brielle,
I'm gonna throw my javelin.
do it. Yeah,
Hit.
flies through the air. You see it collide with the creature's back.
It's something.
It's something.
Those were awful.
Yeah, you see it get in under the scales right next to its spine, and once again, it reels as this javelin forms back into your hand.
And she'll throw it again.
Chuck it again. That's a nat 20.
That's a nat 20.
Nice.
Yeah. And
Much
that's
better.
a lot of damage. Yeah, so yeah, you chuck it again, and once again, just in the other side of the back, just off the other side of the spine, it again reels back, and you can see it sort of lose its flight for a moment as it falls into the air. though it only falls about 20 feet before its wings come out again. You can see blood trickling down most of its limbs at this point. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna move over to Rowan, just in case, and then that'll be my turn.
Absolutely.
I got you, buddy.
Wren, all on your own is still.
Same tactic. It worked before. Gonna
Yeah, absolutely.
maybe like here. No. Oh, I probably want to be further here.
If you go just a little further to there, I'll give you that. You can
Okay.
you can hide behind the hill there. It's
That
high
was
and
15 feet.
Yep.
Okay.
That will
27.
absolutely hide you. Holy shit.
And
Yeah,
Nice.
once again, you dive behind the rocks and you just kind of find yourself breaking line of sight and moving out of where it expects you to be
sneak attack again.
with advantage.
Nat 20.
Yeah.
Nat 20, oh shit! Roll that amazing sneak attack damage.
All right, let's go.
If this gets as high as I think it might be at, something might happen. Holy shit!
53.
Wow.
That's
Holy
sexy.
shit!
Oh my god.
Beautiful.
Ooh.
Who's that for?
You get into cover and you kind of focus on where it is, your mind just narrowing in on exactly where it is. You can almost sense its nervous system as your psychic ability reaches out to it. Your blade feels drawn to the exact right spot. As you fling it out from a hidden position, you see it streak directly towards the brainstem. And as it collides with the creature, you see it momentarily just completely lose consciousness. It regains that consciousness just moments later as this pain reeks through its body and it plummets to the ground. You see dirt and stone kicked up as it collides with the earth, taking an extra 7 bludgeoning damage.
Ooh,
As it returns to
that's
its
so badass.
feet, it unfurls its wings, and you see them completely shredded from the impact. As it takes one big flap, you see that it's not getting off the ground. That was fucking massive damage, and
Yeah,
it
it
deserves
was.
to
So
be
cool.
acknowledged.
I wish I could channel my inner hiccup and now rehabilitate this wyvern.
Interesting.
It's okay. There's
Is
gonna be
that it?
some eggs we can adopt, I'm sure. Rowan just wild shaped into a chicken for a few months, however long it takes to hatch a
I'm
wyvern.
gonna move up to it 15 feet.
Absolutely. And that's your turn?
Yep.
Rowan.
Kaboom!
Kaboom. Lightning bolt. Yeah,
That's right,
another
Rico. Kaboom.
lightning bolt streaks down from the sky above, and you see this wyvern just burst from the chest outward, and the air is just filled with the acrid scent of like burnt flesh. It collapses to the ground immediately.
Amazing. Oh wait, actually, no. Like, I'll step this way, and no, Brielle has range now. We don't need to do that. Okay. I will instead then. I'll run to where I was going. I'll
That
run to where
will
I was
be getting up over that hill will be difficult terrain.
going. Okay, then what if I like go? Could I go around the hill and get to the water?
You can absolutely
or-
go like around it, like go 5 feet that
Sure.
way, and then like over there, which would get you to about there. So you can go like that kind of thing.
Sure. And then how far is this? Perfect. I'll face step over there.
Yeah, absolutely. You just dematerialize and appear over there in a puff of what, like leaves?
probably I kind of like leave like a little bit of a nebula behind me that sort of dissipates.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. Cool. And that's your turn?
That's my turn.
Neat. Wyvern 2 has a walking speed of 20, which is more than enough. As it angrily like walks towards Wren, it like grips onto the very edge of this rocky outcropping, leans forward, and immediately with its tail lashes out towards her.
Okay, the tail?
The tail, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna uncanny dodge that damage.
Let me read this real quick. Because I think so it's measuring me as 35 feet away from the center of the wyvern or the edge of the wyvern. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25,
Sorry, what?
30. Because it's a large creature, right? It takes up more than one square.
Yes.
And I have an ability that I can trigger if I'm 30 feet from it.
What's the ability you're triggering here?
Cosmic Omen, whoa. I want to see if I can take a few points off of that hit. So this is the one that when
I
something
thought the one you got this morning was like the good one for your team.
No, I got an odd number. That's bad things for other people. I did say that when we were
all right.
Writing it down, but I was confused.
I'll give you 30 feet. That's 30 feet from you. Yeah.
Okay. So does a 16 hit?
What is your armor class?
17.
All right. You see this tail coming in fast, and you go to move, but you realize in that last moment that tail's a lot faster than you, and it's coming in a lot closer, and suddenly you just feel as though starlight gets between you and it somehow, and inexplicably, as it like snaps out, you find yourself just a few inches further to the right than you thought you would be.
She silently thanks Rowan because she's completely focused on this creature and not aware that he's like right there.
Immediately following up after that, its head streaks towards you and snaps at you.
I'll still uncanny dodge that one then.
Yeah, absolutely. As it bites into your arm, you find yourself able to pull away most of the way, but its tip that just the outer fangs grab you and do a fair bit of piercing damage.
You still got fight in you.
Wyvern 1 is dead. Sylra, it's to you.
Yes. So I'm trying to see where she's able to go. If she goes down a little bit and then left, is that like an okay route to walk?
If you were to go like down here 10 feet and then go that way, you absolutely could. Note that this whole like thing here is like elevated, so the wyvern will be out of direct line of sight for you unless you go like all the way like over here. However, you could make an attempt to go up here with an athletics check or an acrobatics check and just climb back up and get line of sight again.
Let's try that.
Yeah, whichever you prefer, acrobatics or athletics.
I don't know why I did it in the tower.
You did it in the tower. It's unfortunately a 5. So realizing that she's now unable to see their enemy, goes running to the north, goes to charge up this like steep cliff that she just jumped off of, and completely shoulders into the dirt and rolls back down.
To be fair, that's on brand.
10 feet of movement to end up pretty much where you are.
Okay, she's just gonna walk 20 feet that way.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, it's the way it is sometimes.
Actually, no, because you could dash then instead, right? So
you could dash instead of using an action. Yeah, I could go back to you. You could at least set yourself up for future.
Yeah, so that would give her what?
It'd give you another 30 feet.
30 feet.
You could like potentially get
Right there-ish.
Yeah, you could do that. And you can kind of make out what's going on. In your next turn, you could move another like 5 feet or so and actually get line of sight for sure.
Fine, Ren
that
will
brings
kill
us-
this thing all by herself.
Right? Jeez.
Brielle's gonna run 30 feet.
Yeah.
Am I selecting
This
Wyverns?
hill here is
Oh.
difficult terrain.
Can I?
You can go around it. Like
Yeah, I'll go around it. So I guess 25 feet then to go around. 20.
yeah, you could go like here and then go another 20 feet that way or so. So you basically get to the same spot, really. Like
Semantics.
yeah.
So I'm going to. I'll throw the javelin.
That's a hit. All right, we'll take that 5. Yeah, again, you run around this hill, you see Wren facing off with this wyvern one-on-one, and you chuck your javelin across. It sort of shields itself with its broken wing, but you see it collide right into its shoulder. You got another
try
throw
it again.
here. Yeah,
Oh,
another hit. Another javelin through the air, a little bit lower on that shoulder, but it's still defending itself. And you can see it sort of raising itself up, trying to get ready to make another attack. Is there anything
It'll
else
be
you
my
can do?
turn. Nope.
All right. Then that brings us back to Wren.
I'm in a range that if I move back,
Correct. It will get an opportunity attack, but might be worth it. It's up to you.
yeah, I think it might be worth it.
All right. So you sure if that's what you're doing?
I can't woe it again. I don't have my reaction back.
Mm, yeah, I'm gonna risk it.
All right. You go to run and you see its tail raise up and it streaks out towards you, and you just
No problem.
leap backwards as it collides with the ground in front of you and take off to find yourself some cover. Make your stealth check, please.
I'm gonna use my inspiration for that.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that.
Much better.
What
I'm
a
so
difference.
close.
Good to be
Yeah,
inspired.
you are absolutely hidden. You once again find yourself breaking line of sight, getting that cover you need, and you line up your shot.
Am I targeting? Yes, I am. Advantage.
That's
Pretty
most
good.
definitely a hit. You kind of peek out, find it, lock onto your target, and tell me how you kill it.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah, she noticed the spot that seemed to like make it fall from the sky before. She sees it again as it's kind of like posturing at her to try to hit her, and she summons her blade in one hand and then kind of fakes it out by summoning her other one in her other hand and tosses it right on the other side of it. I don't think she's expecting that it's going to die, and so she kind of crouches a little bit backwards, kind of tumbling backwards as she does it.
Yeah, and you just hear this thing collide with the creature's brainstem once again. It just goes and immediately as it falls to the ground. We may come out of initiative order, and I think what we'll do is take a little bit of a break. Fucking awesome. You guys not only just killed 2 wyverns, but Wren did one-on-one.
I was gonna say, before we go, I did the math. Ren did 88 points of damage to that wyvern.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's insane.
71 of that was
Crit.
sneak attack.
3 rounds.
Yeah.
That,
Incredible.
Makes me
Well-
feel better about accidentally killing a person we were trying to save last
Think
session.
of,
She's
you're so
very
powerful.
angry.
Think of who you could accidentally kill at this point.
Yeah,
Like-
really.
I
Everyone.
don't want to. Why would I want to do that?
Think about who you
like
could kill on
accidentally
purpose.
kill a level 12 wizard, you know?
Think about who you could kill on purpose.
that
There we
that
go.
guy from the Swindell Company, I'm coming for you now.
Yeah.
But we're going to take a little bit of a break. Thank you to everyone who's here. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. We'll be back in a few minutes, so stay tuned.
Nice.
Welcome back. Well, yeah, you guys found yourself beset upon by a pair of wyverns in the mountainside, and not only did you defeat both of them, Wren seemingly took one out entirely by herself. Brielle did hit it with a javelin a couple of times, to be fair.
Let Wren have it.
But,
Ren's
yeah.
also just like muddied from climbing up a bank earlier. Like her whole front is just full of mud. She gets up, kind of dusts herself off as best she can, but gives up when it just begins streaking into her. Is everyone okay?
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
fine.
fine.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, it got me a couple of times, but only really nicked me a little.
Yeah, a few scratches.
And I got out some of my frustration from the past few days, so that's something.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it took the three of us, and to get that one down, looks like you did this almost all by yourself. Good work.
I would have been entirely screwed if this was flat terrain, I think.
But it's not, and you weren't. So,
Yeah, I
hey,
got lucky, and
well, I don't know about
You
that.
fought a dragon and you won.
that does make a cool story. Maybe we should tell that bard about this too.
Twice now.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
2 dragons at the same time.
Yeah.
Only
Yeah.
one this time. Wonder where that dragon is. They got it, or if it's still going.
Do you think we should take some parts of this to prove that we got rid of them? I mean, they are giving out bounties for things like this,
Right.
right?
Might as well. I think the stinger's probably worth something.
Mm-hmm.
Rowan, I would like for you to make a intelligence check, maybe wisdom, whatever you want. Actually,
Perception.
not perception. It's more of a memory thing. So like,
I've got nature. I've got survival.
it's recalling information that was given to you.
Nature, then. Like
Can I
facts
give him
about plants
guidance?
and things. I can do.
Tell
I
you
can do.
what,
He also has 2 inspiration, so
I do
don't-
have 2 inspirations.
do wisdom for now, just a raw wisdom check. You don't really know he's recalling information, so unfortunately, but that'll do it. Absolutely, you recall Aerie saying that she had a buyer who was willing to pay a fortune for a wyvern stinger.
And we
I
got 2 of them.
actually I have that in my notes. I feel like an idiot. Okay, well, we get the wyvern stingers, but should we also get something else from it in case these were some nuisance to other people?
Might as well. Kind of keen to
Yeah.
check and see if they've got anything up in their nest too. Points off in the distance.
Yeah. And I mean, if we can get it to fit in the bag of holding, we should just take it.
Like what?
The whole thing?
The
not,
wyvern?
not the whole thing.
Get in there.
Guys. Did they hit you in the head?
A
Well,
little
you
bit,
just-
yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of just said it and then didn't reference what you were talking about.
I meant stuff off of it, like, you know, the
Oh.
important stuff, like eyes, nails, teeth, whatever.
The
A
pieces
heart
should
if
fit in there.
needed.
I don't think I should be the one to do it. Ari didn't seem too impressed with my handiwork last time. But I mean, I could do it if you want.
I can do it.
I mean,
I'm
I'm
That's probably
pretty
better.
weak, so I don't think I'd be much help.
I'm pretty skilled with the blade if you would like help, Rowan.
That'd be nice.
You can show me what to cut and I will cut it.
Okay. Well, with that, then yeah, we'll make we'll say a survival check with advantage, having Wren work the actual blade for you.
And she is using an actual blade, not her psychic.
I assumed because the psychic blade doesn't
Yeah.
actually cut flesh. So,
Mm.
yeah, with that 24, absolutely you're able to remove both stingers without an issue and pack them away. What other parts are you two planning to cut away?
Is there like, I don't want to just do a scale because then you could just take as many as you want. Be like, I fought 5 wyverns. So, do they have like? They don't have ears, do they? Like nothing really
And
visible.
it could,
They have claws.
claws,
their hand.
eyes, limited number of eyes.
But let's try the eyes then.
Teeth
Well-
usually sell.
We can bring some teeth in too, but I think the eyes will probably prove the amount of wyvern pretty well.
All right. Yeah, with that check, you're easily able to remove both eyes from both of them without any issue. Remove a few teeth each.
Is Rowan writing this stuff down, or should I
Mhm.
also? Yeah, okay. So we wanted to check their nest. We hoping
So
to
you
find
got
an
like
egg.
you got the two foremost prominent fangs from each of them, so 4 fangs total.
Well, now I give the stingers to Ari on this so that I don't forget that.
Check their nest out.
Got those
I
written
can do that
down
while
now.
they're cutting that out.
So you wanted to check the nest while they're cutting them out?
Yeah, I'll start walking there at least.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this process does take a while. You also need to be crossing this river back and forth to be doing these things.
Oh, because they're on
Which-
the other side.
Yeah. How do you want to go about doing that? Are we
Is-
all making running
can
jumps here?
Can we do the path thing that sort of goes through it? Like there's like a little crossing over the center portion, right?
Well, yes and no. There's an elevated bit of land underwater. There is a spot you could stand on and be dry, but it goes down 10 feet beneath the water and comes to a point of wall that's 20 feet up. So,
So that's not traversable then? Like
no,
yeah,
because
no.
there's the stones that you're seeing in the water are what remained of a bridge that the Earth Genasi made.
I
They then
see.
crumbled it into the stream.
Okay. So do you want
Yeah.
some checks done for the going back and forth, or can we take our time? Or
I mean, it depends. If you're just jumping it, then yes, I'll need some checks. If you're doing something different, then I'd like to hear what you're doing.
And if there's a place where that it can be waded through, I don't.
There
mind
really isn't.
that.
Yeah, it's been cutting through the mountain for long enough that like almost anywhere that you're going down into the river, it's like 20 feet down.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Oh boy.
Brielle will run and jump it if she can.
Yeah,
what's your strength score, Brielle?
It is 19.
yeah.
Then, yeah, if you go to where Wren jumped, then you can make that jump without even a check.
Dang.
I'll jump it.
What's my jump distance?
Wren, you're jumping it again?
Yep.
All right, let's see that acrobatics check, please.
It,
That'll do it. Yeah, you're able to leap back across as Brielle makes her leap across there. I suppose you probably... I suppose you probably like remove the parts from this one first, then leap across and remove the other ones. Rowan, are you making your way back across as well, or are you kind of...
Yeah, if it's 10 feet, I should be able to clear it.
What's your strike score?
13.
Then yeah, you can just make that. Yeah.
So are we heading north, having to go over this, or
So if you want to take a look at where I'm putting a little circle right now, that's where the Genasi landed on the other side of the shore and went north from there.
okay?
Right.
So yeah, okay. Sylra is then gonna Misty step it because she's only got 10 strength.
That's smart.
She's probably not gonna
Totally
make
fair.
it.
Yeah, so you make your way over here and just Misty step across, so you can
Yeah.
easily do that. Are you going with Brielle to the nest?
Yeah, she will.
Absolutely. Okay. So
Should I
then,
have the map
I
up still?
spell.
not necessarily. We're still using it as sort of a point of reference. Maybe it doesn't hurt. But basically, so Wren and Rowan, they kind of pick the parts off this first wyvern. They both jump across to do the other one, while Brielle and Sylra cross the stream and head to the far west of this map and to the north corner there to explore the nest. Yeah, I mean, I think without too much trouble, the two of you, if you're not rushing or anything, you can make your way up there without really an
I'll help
issue.
Sylra.
Yeah, she might need a boost or something here or there, but you're between the two of you, you're able to climb up without an issue. Let's get those investigation checks, please.
Oh no.
We see nothing.
No,
Sylra, you do see nothing. You get up there and you're just like, oh, nice view. And you kind of look around and it's just, this nest is stinky and it's gross and there's like clumps of probably wyvern poop in various places. It's weirdly warm, like just this weird warmth radiating from the whole thing, and it's really uncomfortable for you. It's like the opposite of everything Sylra likes, and so very quickly she kind of tunes out and is like, why did I come up here? Brielle, on the other hand, doesn't seem to bother you so much as you kind of wade through it. You're kind of searching through and moving large clumps of like foliage and straw and various things. And as you push over this particular clump, you find yourself face to face with 3 unhatched eggs.
Pets.
These are so cool. I think they're going to be excited when we bring them down. Do you think you can carry them? Or she looks at Sylra like, do you think?
Wait, what?
There's eggs.
Shit, there's
Like
eggs.
like a chicken, but like bigger.
Yeah, they're quite sizable. They're like certainly larger than your head.
She's gonna look at her bag of holding and be like, well, would it fit in there?
Would it fit in the...
It would fit in there.
It would fit.
Your guys. We're gonna have our own toothlesses.
Or they're gonna kill us in our sleep. Who knows?
They'll be tiny when they come out.
I mean, we could probably sell them
I have a
too.
+5 to animal handling. It'll be fine.
Or we could keep
They
them.
they aren't strictly animals, but
Yeah, we
Either
could
way,
eat
we should put them in. I think Rowan's gonna be super excited about this.
Oh, okay. This was not on my bingo card, but I guess we'll take them.
I guess that means we killed the mom and dad.
Yeah, let's not think about that.
Yeah. Okay, open your bag.
She
Okay,
opens it.
as you're, yeah, you shove these eggs
Gingerly,
into the bag.
gingerly.
Yeah, no, the bag is able to open wide enough for them to kind of slip through. It's tight a little bit, but they're able to slot through, and yeah, you get all three in. Yeah, that
That's
happens.
it. Okay.
Can I make an insight check on the DM?
No.
Listen, we sent two people that are not good at investigating to go do this. That's it.
I think the only person that we have that's passable at investigating is Wren.
About +7.
But once you do that, Brielle, would you continue looking around the nest, or?
Yeah, I'd see like if anyone was there and hurt, or like if there's anything left over. Like I don't. Dragon stories from when I'm a kid say they sit on a hoard of treasure, and that's
Fair
all I
enough.
know.
Yeah, you continue to dig through this nest, and again, you come across some lumps of stuff that are pretty gross, but you see sort of this like shaft of something, and you go to pull on it, and it just turns out to be like the bottom quarter of a horse as you pull it free. But as you do so, it pulls some of this nest with it, and underneath this quarter of a horse is a humanoid skeleton picked clean. Around its skeletal neck is a gold chain with an amulet, and laying next to it is a black sword with gold inlay.
That's cool. I don't think he'll miss it, right? She looks at Silver like, is this okay to take?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't need the horse anymore, so I think if he doesn't need the horse, he doesn't need the sword. So
Yeah.
okay, I'm just gonna like gingerly take his necklace off.
You're doing
I'm gonna
everything so
take-
gingerly today.
Have you seen her hair?
She's so worried. She's so
Technically,
worried.
everything
She's
she
doing
does
stuff
is
about her
gingerly.
babysitter run around.
Yeah, absolutely. You're able to remove the amulet and take the
Take the
sword without
sword.
any incident.
Anything else you want to do while we're here, Sylra?
Nah, this place is pretty gross. Can we get out? I just want to. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Maybe that's okay. Maybe go down on your butt. It's less likely that you'll fall.
She's gonna try to go down normally, and
On your butt's not normal.
I mean, it's up to you. If you
Brielle
want
would
to
help
roll, you
her.
can
She'd,
roll.
like, hold
If you
her
want
hand
to,
if she needs.
what would I roll?
acrobatics maybe.
Acrobatics. Okay.
Yeah,
That's okay.
you kind of slide a little bit on your heels, but you manage to get your way down there without falling.
See, I got this.
Can you
But by the time
sorry?
you're going back down from the nest, the others have finished with their butchering.
Meanwhile, like over on the other side, Wren's just like she holds up the eye, and she's like, I see why Ari liked these things. They're disgusting, but like very cool.
Wren's got a stress ball now.
Oh,
She just squeezes it once in a while.
Yeesh.
Is that
I
when the
don't-
two make it there?
Don't squeeze it too hard.
She
You might need to sell that.
she turns it towards Brielle as they approach.
That was actually really funny, Wren. I see what you did there, right? With the eye.
Ah,
Were you making a
see
joke?
it.
That was good. I like that.
I don't know if it was a joke. Was it funny?
You see with your eyes, and you're holding an eyeball.
Oh, yeah, I guess that is wordplay, isn't it? it was unintentional.
I thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny too.
Oh,
So
Found some eggs.
You found eggs? Like,
Yeah,
Yes.
3 of them.
And a sword and a necklace. I'm also
Oh.
covered in crap, but we're gonna ignore that part.
I mean, join the club.
are you two
Laura's like-
leaping across the river again?
Yes.
I will need checks.
You didn't make me jump going the other way.
Your strength score was 13.
Yeah.
You're okay then. Only fucking just. Yeah.
I'll use my die if I have to.
Yeah, I think you need to.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh no, that's not going to get you to a 15.
Oh no.
So Wren leaps across, hits that slope again,
Shit.
and just hits it off the wall there and into the stream below.
Okay.
Is it like schmovin
Am
or?
I-
Yeah. So like literally in the course of 6 seconds, she's going to end up over there.
Wow.
Where am I here?
All right.
Wren, I'm going to need you to make an athletics check to resist the current.
Those are. I'm so good at those.
I know.
That's all right,
This
I'm going
is
in
how
after her.
she dies.
Yep. I take down a wyvern and then I die in a stream.
You still be clean.
You managed to keep your head above water enough that you don't start succumbing to drowning just yet, and you actually resist the stream a little bit as it pulls you over there. Rowan, what was that you wanted to do?
I'm gonna go in after her. I just so happens one of my wild shape forms has a swim speed and a climb speed, so I'm gonna do that. Jump in after her and take to the water in the form of a black bear.
Black bears have a swim speed?
They do.
That's cool.
That's crazy. What is the swim speed of black bear?
30 feet.
Then you are able to jump in and swim over to her, taking her up in one paw and grabbing hold of the cliff face with the other. You holding her with your teeth?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to like climb her up.
Okay. That might be tough with a human being in your mouth.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, where are you?
Let's make a black bear athletics check.
And if I feel like that would be difficult, I can just be like,
It's like all
Try and
she's wearing
communicate.
is a crop top that
yeah, that's
ties
fair.
at the back.
Where would I get purchased? Okay, yeah, we'll do. I'll hang on to the wall.
All right, so you're just holding and hanging on then.
Yeah.
Brielle would run over and
Can
try
I-
and help.
I
Which
mean,
that
once we're
I have
out,
to.
can I like try to help him by climbing up him, sort of?
Yeah, but between the group of you, with him holding you in place, and he's got a climb speed, so there's no risk of him like kind of losing grip. Brielle's rushing over, you're trying to clamber up. I'd say between the 3 of you, you're able to kind of lift everyone up and get out of the river on the safe side.
Sylra's just doing like prestidigitation on herself, trying to get all the crap off of her.
Well, it's like, I don't know if Sylra is looking, but if she was looking, she would have had the opportunity to see a bear do a cannonball.
Yeah, she completely missed it.
Oh my god.
Wren, if Wren was there with just Sylra, she would have been gone.
She'd just be gone, and so would be like, huh, where did Wren go?
There's nothing she could do anyways to help.
Do you have a rope?
I don't even think I do.
Yeah, you'd be screwed.
Yeah. She
Well.
kind of clasps onto Brielle's hand and finishes pulling herself up, and she's like, "Oh, thank you. I think I got a little bit overconfident there with the jumping back and forth. Well, we don't have to go that way again, at least for now. Thank you, Rowan."
I got this form for 3 hours. I'm gonna use it.
Heck yeah.
Sorry. You were just saying though that you guys got eggs.
Yes, yes. Sylra, show them. I also got
She
a
just-
fancy sword.
How easy is it to find them in the bag of holding, or does she have to
You-
take like
you just
everything?
think
You
about it.
basically just have to intend to take a particular
Okay.
object, and it will pass. it
She's
to
gonna
you.
take one out and just be like, "We've got 3 of these. And they're fairly big. I wonder how long they are. We might be able to eat them."
Can you eat wyvern eggs?
I mean, they're eggs, right?
Rowan, you retain your mental stats in wild shape, right?
I do. I retain no way to communicate, but I retain my mental stats.
I appreciate that. Why don't you give me a nature check, please?
But if he starts miming, Wren will just like connect them.
I mean, you could do like yes
can
or
do this.
no. I figure.
You should just carry a Ouija board around for me. Nature, you say?
Yes, please.
Whee! I'll take it.
That'll do
Nice.
it. Yeah, you know that eggs predominantly are permeable to allow air through,
Mhm.
and that in a bag of holding there is no air.
Oh shit!
I think Rowan's trying to say something. And she's going to. I've used so many of these die today. This is the first time I've ever had to like really keep track of this now. Oh wait, actually, this is my first time doing this today. I don't need to roll that.
That's
But
true.
well, actually,
Yeah,
I
you
do
do
for the
for
hours.
time,
But
yeah.
we're now connected, and so you're like roaring, but then it comes through like halfway through your sentence.
They need to be able to breathe, man. They can't breathe in there.
So she's gonna take them out and be like, "Are they still alive or are they dead now?"
Give me 2 seconds here.
And they're probably fine. It's just been a few minutes. Or
He's rolling to see if they're alive.
All 3 of them are still alive.
Oof.
How are we going to carry these? They're huge.
Hmm.
You
I
can't
could-
communicate
I could-
telepathically with them.
yeah, I know.
You just get a bear shrug anyway.
Yeah.
We
I could tie
carry-
one on my back.
I was just gonna say, what if we like each try? I could tie one in my shawl and have it like a backpack.
Did your
Does-
mom never swaddle you and carry you?
Who are you
Hmm.
asking?
I already asked.
Anyone.
No,
No.
I've never had that experience.
Rowan nods.
The
Does not sound
simultaneous no
pleasant.
got me.
Okay.
Anyone have anything I could borrow to do that, or?
I mean, what about your cloak? Isn't she wearing like a sort of roby thing?
Yeah, she is. I guess I could use that. She sighs and like starts trying to figure it out. She's in no way motherly at all, so this is very
I mean, you
Different
could tie
for her.
it to Rowan if you really don't want to.
Yeah, I was gonna
carry it.
say.
well. He would be nice and warm as a bear, so I'm just
True.
gonna do that.
Starts walks up to him, starts tying it to him. Chaotic as hell.
All right, so like 2 of you have little papooses, and Sora's tying an egg to bear Rowan.
You got to make sure you tie it in a way that's going to not going to
Support
fall
it.
off when he, turns back.
It's like,
Well-
I'll know when that's about to happen.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to surprise us.
Suddenly, I mean,
Unless you
he
want
did
it to.
that one time. He turned back into a person. That was a surprise.
Watch out for goblin arrows.
Yeah, watch out. Well, I think the bear can take more than one, maybe.
Unless it's like a
probably.
sneak attack like Wren's.
It's got 19 hit points, so.
Question for the DM: how long does the veil stay? There's no time limit on the.
I swear I put one on it, but I believe it should be for a minute.
Okay, yeah, so it's long gone. She's going to be squinty and very annoyed that she's lost her cloak.
Do you want to hold my shield over you? Will that help?
How heavy is your shield?
2 pounds or something?
Yeah.
Is that all it is, really?
I think
They're
it's
not very
more than
heavy.
that.
Shield ought to be heavier than 2 pounds, I would think.
Doesn't say. Oh, I'm looking at the shield spell.
It is 6 pounds.
6.
Okay.
I mean, you were holding an egg that was probably like the same.
Yeah, you just hold it over your head like this when you walk.
She'd still get the same negative effect for anything outside of that shield's radius.
Oh yeah. Brielle doesn't know how this works.
All right. Well, what about the things you have there? Is there something special about those? Are they magic?
Oh, I have no idea. I just thought they looked cool.
They do look cool.
Can I see the necklace?
Yeah.
She wants to use detect magic and see if there's any magic from any of the items around, and if the necklace has magic, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. You detect a distinct glow of magic about both the sword and the amulet.
Well, they're both magical.
Cool.
It would tell
So
her the school of magic too.
yes.
You're gonna have to give me a minute on that one.
No. Well, be careful because sometimes there is bad sorts of magic as well.
Would you like me to hold on to these for you, Brielle, and I can look into them more and see what type of magic, and if they're okay for
Sure, if you
you
wanna
or
carry
us
them.
to, yeah, just to so we could be safe, I guess.
It looks like there's gold in them. I don't know if that's Tenedril or just gold, but that might be something to look into.
I mean, you might be better at figuring that out with your smith type stuff. Did we want to take a moment and just actually like look at them before we move on, or should we get going because we are following?
Well, we can spend the time that we are at camp tonight to look over everything,
That's true. We could.
cover more ground while we have the daylight.
Yeah, and if not, the Genasi woman might be able to help us better than me. She actually knows what she's working with.
It's true.
Yeah, okay, let's do that then there. So,
Yep. I don't care for this place now. She says that she kind of like shoots a glance at the stream behind her. She's gonna head back towards where that where it was obvious like the Genasi went through and just start heading north.
All right. Yep. You guys continue northward on the path. It continues to follow the similar pattern that it has been following all this time, and you find yourself sort of traversing more and more difficult terrain the further north you get. After several more hours of travel, you find yourself at almost like a sheer rock face that goes up about 30 feet. And it's really unclear how the Genasi got up it, but given their earthen connection, surely an ability that you don't have. Yes, Fair Rowan.
Is it more or less than 3 hours?
Let's say it's almost 3 hours.
Amazing.
I do have gear that would help us climb up.
That's handy.
I could climb up, and this. I'm about to lose this form. I could get up to the top and drop some ropes down,
That could work.
or
and take some
someone
rope
wants
off.
to climb on.
Can I climb on, possibly?
The princess treatment over here.
Either that, or you guys will have to pull her up, probably. So.
Yeah.
I mean, you're stronger than Wren is.
10?
8?
10
Yeah.
times? Oh, 8? Okay.
So if I can take a passenger, I will do so.
All right. All right. Well, then I guess Sylra climbs onto Rowan, and the two of you scale this cliff, egg in the side saddle, and what was the deal with the rope here? What's happening? Is
I put some in his mouth.
Yeah.
okay. You
Then
put
when
a
I get up
coil
the
of
top, I
rope
can-
in his mouth.
Could throw it down.
Are you just gonna hold on to it, Rowan?
Unless there's something to tie it off to.
I have hammer and a piton that could be used at the top, but I don't know if you can use it in that form.
Sylra
He
could.
cannot.
I mean, I can try. I've got a hammer also, but I don't think. Oh, and I have a baton. So
Just hold the hammer in my mouth while trying to balance it between my claws.
I've
You know-
got some stuff I'll use.
Okay, maybe just as a backup precaution, Rowan, you should hold on to the rope, regardless.
All right.
Um,
Sylra hammers the python and ties off the rope. Rowan holds it anyway. And the two of you are able to climb up the rope, I would think, without too much hassle. Eventually, sooner or later, you'll get up there.
If she has to, Wren will just wait for Brielle and Rowan to pull her up.
As they were waiting for them to go, Brielle would have turned to Wren and just been like, "It probably would have not to say anything, but it probably would have been smarter if I went up and then I could have just pulled you up with Rowan. But I'm sure we'll be fine."
Yeah.
We all get up though.
Yep. You're all able to get up, and you can see that the trail does continue on. And as you follow it, you find yourself coming into a sort of very flat, stony area. And as you're doing that, Rowan, it's about 3 hours are up.
We're gonna have to adjust this egg here. Not gonna be a bear much longer.
She's gonna take it off and hold it.
And then Rowan becomes silver.
Would Wren also be aware of when her connection
Yes.
is wearing it? Okay.
And I got a mad hankering for some raw meat and berries.
And you said we were coming up on some flat.
Yeah, so you're coming onto this sort of really flat plateau, and as you're looking ahead, it almost looks like the mountain itself is sort of open in front of you. As you draw closer, Rowan, you actually notice a couple of stones on the ground. They stand out to you.
I think we might be nearby, and I will point at them.
Brielle
Brielle
wants
seems
us
to
so
enjoy
bad.
it.
Yeah.
And don't want to deny her that.
Can I do it?
Go for it.
Okay. Brielle's gonna, like, she'll use the new ones if they have the new ones there in case they sound different.
Yeah, you use those, and in fact, they do sound a little different to your ear. Sort of a lower sort of reverberation that feels like it almost runs across the ground in front of you. And as that happens, you actually see each of you sort of the glint of metal ahead kind of go from a ready position down more towards the hip as two Earth Genasi kind of step out from their posts and look out to see you. They don't seem to recognize you, but they kind of put their spears off to the side and watch.
Hi. We're good. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go through them.
Yeah, you approach, and they're about 50 feet off from when you first clack the stones. And as you get in close, they do kind of step out a little bit, and one of them just says, "Who are you?"
Brielle Emberglow. Hi, nice to meet you.
Hello.
We're
You-
Wren. We're friends of the Viscount.
Sandrock is deep inside. You go now.
I forgot how, like,
Home face
to
there.
the point they were. You go now. All right, we go.
Yeah, you head into this tunnel. It's very long and very wide for a long time. It's just this sort of like sort of pentagonally shaped like hole that goes deep into the mountain. However, as you look at it, none of the surfaces seem to be naturally carved in any way, like, or unnaturally carved rather. It almost looks like somehow the mountain itself formed this perfect pentagonal opening. And as you draw in further and further, you see that you come into this great opening, and though you're only just a tiny fraction into the depth of the mountain, the size of this cavern is enormous. You can see hundreds of earthen buildings sprawled out in front of you. You sort of are in front of this big staircase that goes down 20 feet, and each building has its own little light outside of it, glowing all sorts of different colors. They almost appear to be torches, but they give off no heat. They just sort of spark alive in this cold, colorful flame, each one of them unique. And all around you, you can see Earth Genasi of all kinds. Many of them looking a lot like the tribe that you are familiar with, but some of them have much darker hues and some of them are much lighter. Some are very white with dark marbling through them. It's a very diverse culture, and many of them appear just completely unusual compared to what you've seen already. Many of them just sort of watch you as you walk by. The odd time you get a hello as you move past them. Though they don't seem interested in conversing beyond that. In the distance ahead, you can hear the clanging of hammers, and you hear sort of a... Joyous isn't really necessarily the word I'm looking for, but you hear sort of an excited clamor coming from the same direction. But you've been given no other direction, so I guess it's entirely up to you. Do you want to head towards what you're hearing, or do you want to search around elsewhere?
Brielle would probably go towards the sound unless people wanted to look for Sandrock.
And they said he's deep inside, right? So
He did, yeah. That's what he told you.
Continue on.
You keep heading in, and as you do, you see this very, very large stone structure, cylindrical, but not sort of strictly so. Like its width kind of tapers, and then once again flares out at the top. You can see there's several vents high up on it, like 40 feet up, that are giving off smoke and fumes. And as you draw near, you see that there's a large crowd around this structure. At the base of it, it is quite wide and cylindrical, and you can see that there are 5 forges built into the bottom of it. In the center of it is an incredibly hot furnace, giving off waves of heat that you can feel hundreds of feet out. Within this circle of Earth Genasi watching whatever's happening, you can see 5 individual Genasi sort of working metal very rapidly. As they move from the forge outwards towards their own anvil and station, you can see next to them stands what looks to be, well, first of all, Viscount Sandrock, and then 4 other who are adorned similarly, carrying a similar spear, each of them looking a little bit different. Once again, you see as they hammer into this metal that is glowing white hot, there are cheers kind of coming up here and there from the crowd as they're excited to see what it is they're doing.
And it looks like Sandrock is currently busy with this then.
He's standing inside of the main crowd in the inner circle where the 5 Genasi are working the metals. He is standing next to the one that Brielle knows who she was working with.
Okay. Wren is just gonna kind of lean towards, like, where are we? Kind of like in the crowd now. We have people around us. Sort of
I'd say you're kind of, you're in, but like sort of on the outskirts of it. It kind of gets pretty dense pretty quickly. So you're kind of where people are kind of looking and moving around. But if you were to move in even a little bit more, you're then sandwiched in.
Okay. Wren's gonna wait until we're like near somebody, and then she's going to kind of lean towards someone who looks particularly excited about what's going on. And she goes, sorry if this is a rude interruption. I'm just very curious about what it is that they're doing. Is this some sort of competition of some sort?
It is the greatest work.
You all just got you all.
What was that, David?
Like, thank you. That's very helpful. Very informative.
Wren goes, is the greatest work something that all of the tribes get together to do together?
No, it is competition.
Between different groups, though, yeah?
Yes, which of the 5 does the greatest work? That tribe is in command.
Oh. Are they all using the same material?
Yes and no. We use what is provided by the mountain.
Oh, you go out and gather and then come back to do this?
Yes, what the High Father provides is what we use.
Who won last time?
It was Sandrock's blacksmith that won, and she looks
course
like
he
she
did.
might win again.
Yes. Brielle's
But
like,
they are bold. They go outside the mountain. They find what they need.
she does
Thank
great
you.
stuff.
She is very strong. She has
Mm-hmm.
a talent for alloy.
Is that what she's working with right now?
Yes.
What's she working with?
I do not know. It is her alloy.
You guys don't share that information with each other?
Eventually, yes, but when the competition happens, it is secret.
That makes sense. Did Brielle get a name for that other Genasi that she worked with? Like the one
The
in the
blacksmith?
the blacksmith.
Did I give you a name?
You haven't given me a name, but I feel like she would have asked for a name, seeing as she asks any person under the sun what their name is.
Let's check out.
Oh gosh. Let's see. I wasn't expecting this in this moment.
All right, we'll just call her the blacksmith, and you can.
Yeah. We'll come back to it.
You have until we actually interact with her again.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, we made it. Looks like maybe we will have more people's brains to pick than we thought. Assuming
Are we
they want.
gonna stand here, or can we get closer look?
It's I'm good standing back here. It's pretty hot.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get up
Yeah.
closer, but I'll stay back here.
Just like at the
No, it's
tavern.
fine.
So, like at the Great Goblin, Wren is now going to kind of pull Brielle through the crowd and start weaving towards to get a better look at what's going on.
What did I make you do to do that before?
I don't know what you made me do before. That was quite some time ago.
I thought it was a stealth check so that we could like not be noticed, kind of pushing our way through.
I could also do something charismatic if you would like me to not ruffle any feathers.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do a
That's
charisma
smarter.
check and see if you can get through the crowd without bothering people.
Okay. Persuasion? Is that good?
Sure. Not bad. Yeah,
21.
okay. You make your way through the crowd, and you can see people are kind of like put off as you push through them.
Sorry.
But Wren's able to sort of appease them very quickly.
It's like she's kind of she's picking up on anything that they're saying and like making comments to them, like she's kind of small talking her way through the crowd and moving on.
You get to the front, and as you try to push your way in to see what's going on, one of the women right at the front center, mostly like very, very like stark white flesh, with just these very, very thin, very dark veins running through. She just turns to you very suddenly, stamping her spear on the ground, goes, "Who are you?"
Oh,
Brielle Emberglow of the Fireforge. Hi, nice to meet you.
I'm Wren. I didn't know how close we were allowed to get. We're very interested in what Sandrock is doing.
Oh, okay then. And she kind of just makes space for you. And there you find yourself like at the front. There's a sort of a very thin, like rocky banister kind of around the crowd. And as you kind of push into that front space, you can now feel the heat of that furnace. It feels like you've been standing under the sun for an hour already, the second you get there.
Wren kind of like undoes the little sash she has around her waist, and she's now gonna be holding that on hand, probably like dabbing herself once in a while from the heat.
Is that not what the egg is wrapped? No, that's in the shawl. Right?
She has a
The eggs
purple
are so
sash
gonna get
around her.
Got it. It starts sizzling. Yeah, totally. And you can see Sandrock is not far from where you are. He's like 10 feet away from you at most. And as the blacksmith that you know, Fishura Onyx, is hammering away at this metal, you can see very clearly from where you are, Brielle. It doesn't look to be exactly the alloy that you've seen her working with before. It where is the It looks to be mostly bronze-like in appearance. It doesn't have quite that gold-like sheen across it. It is somewhat more muted. But as she's doing that, you can see that she is also sort of merging veins of a very white, silvery kind of metal into this bronze alloy.
Like the one we found.
Quite possibly.
Who's to say?
Let me talk to her.
Sandrock is standing near her, and he's sort of saying something constantly under his breath. Like, you can't hear it, but you can see that he has like a constant stream of words coming out of his mouth in a very, very low tone. And then she quickly turns over her axe and says, "Now." And he steps forward and sprinkles a powder over it, and she once again begins hammering it. And he begins with whatever it is he's saying once more. This process carries on for a few minutes before she runs back to the furnace and begins heating it once more. Even as she's heating it, you can see that she hasn't just stuck it in and left it there. She kind of sticks it in, and she's like watching the heat of the furnace and moving it about in this very intricate way. It's almost like a dance, as she finds the exact right temperature she needs it to be. And then very quickly she comes running back to her anvil, where Sandrock once again sprinkles powder over it, and she begins hammering, and then turns it and powder and hammer. And then eventually, as this goes on for another 10 minutes or so, you see her run to the forge, heat it hotter than she has in the past, until it's literally glowing this white hot heat. And as she runs back to her station, she plunges it into the oil, and you see flames shoot out 20 feet high in this cone.
That is pretty cool.
And when she pulls it out, you can see this great bronze-looking dappled axe with a perfect mirror sheen to it. She holds it up and just lets it fall from her hand, and it sinks into the stone like it's butter.
You blur.
I have become blurry from how cool this moment is.
It's all the heat.
The heat makes
vapors.
it. And as soon as it sinks into the stone, you hear there's like this raucous cheer from this fifth of the crowd. And she just turns and like folds her arms and looks at her competitors who are still working, and holds that position for another half an hour while the rest of them work.
She's honestly the coolest person. I know I said that about Danica, but she's way cooler.
I gotta admire her her skill. I mean, the way that she's like looking at the other people who are still like hammering away, and then she kind of glances at Sandrock. The way they worked in unison was also very impressive. They must have done this for ages.
Practice it for sure. I wonder what he was saying.
Wonder if that's something they would tell us, or if that's one of those secrets.
Maybe it's one of those things you ask her after a long day and 3 bottles of that awful stuff they drink.
It's worth a shot. I imagine they are going to have quite the party after they're done working today.
I think so. What do you think the others are making? And she's like, Brielle is still in it because people are making weapons. Like, she's just really into the fact of how this is working.
Absolutely. And each of the other pairs are working pretty similarly to how they work. You can see that each of them are very skilled in their trade, some of them putting extremely minute, intricate details into them. One of them actually seems to be carving runes down the haft of the spear that she's constructing that look almost identical to yours.
You see that, Wren? That's like what I do.
I wonder if you could compete here someday.
No, no, I'm not that good. Maybe my dad, but not me.
I mean, you're gonna keep working at it, right?
I'd like to.
And I don't see why not. I think though, one thing I do want to add is that while we're watching this,
Mhm.
we're in the High Father now, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you said there was like a stone sort of banister in front of them.
Yeah.
I think Wren's hands are like rested on there, and the like steady rhythmic clanking of the work that they're doing just kind of resonates with her, with that same experience that she had while they were on the road coming here. And as Brielle is just like in awe of these people creating, Wren also just feels some strange like emotional tie to this in a way that she didn't expect to when she watches this display.
Yeah. As that happens, you feel yourself once again feeling the presence of this something deep within the mountain. It sort of meshes with you, and in that instant, you kind of feel all the Earth Genasi standing around you. And the second that happens, first of all, the woman who questioned you a second ago, who is standing next to you, just kind of looks at you and gasps a little bit. See you. And you can hear this sort of wave of whispering happening around you, spreading out. As the whispering reaches Sandrock's ears, he turns and looks, and he goes, I know this outsider. She can see the mountain.
Wren is extremely uncomfortable at first with all of the eyes turning toward her, especially because she hasn't told anybody in the party about what happened. And she's like, can she can feel this too then?
Briefly, you sort of touched it and you felt it. You were like, oh, I can feel everyone around me.
Okay, so she knows what they mean then when they say that.
Yes,
And she goes,
but sort of like the second that they kind of drew you away from that,
she's looking right at Sandrock and she's like, oh, I see you too. She's trying not to be weird around Brielle.
Brielle's swaying.
I love her.
They know I can see the mountain too, right? It goes pretty big.
Take a point of inspiration, please.
Beautiful.
And sort of, there's sort of this like weird like you can hear people kind of having these crazy conversations, but then all at once there's also suddenly the sound of the horn as everyone plunges their things into the oil and time is up for the competition. Most of the people around you seem to very suddenly forget that you're even there and immediately go to celebrating the end of the great work. And all at once, everyone's sort of moving. They all kind of funnel around this cylinder, and as they do, they kind of line up against another banister that lines like this walkway. And the 5 blacksmiths take their works and move down this corridor. And as everyone sort of follows with the crowd, you can hear a lot of people making comments and praising them and praising their works and telling them to do their clan proud and so on and so forth. And all at once, the Viscounts kind of place their items up onto the racks available that sort of display these things. Light is immediately shown on each of them, and he makes the announcement that the final test will be performed first thing in the morning, and for tonight, it is time to celebrate the great work they have done.
Yeah.
And
Next Next session is party.
Next session is like a Matrix 2 Zion-esque cave party with the Earth Genasi. So
Question.
yeah.
During this time would more wrong character would
Moira.
Moira's here.
would Sylra be hearing like any whispering or anything?
As in from her patron?
Like the sound, like, because what was happening before with being like called to the mountain and stuff?
No. In this moment, the only whispering that you're hearing is that of the Earth Genasi, who are whispering about Wren.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's where we end it. Good session, guys.
Heck yeah.
Exciting.
Don't know where this is going, but it's going
No idea.
somewhere.
Yeah, it's going somewhere, and we'll all find out together.